This is ABC.
Armour Mall Summer Sidewalk Sale is on now through Sunday. Bargains are tremendous as merchants make final markdowns on summer goods. It's summer savings at Armour Mall, Snelling Avenue in Roseville.
Fresh.
In this corner, the challenger.
Informative.
Trapped in an abandoned well.
Topical.
Describes himself as a freed slave.
Provocative.
You want to get naked, get naked.
Uncompromising.
We found her body at 4:45 in the morning.
When the smoke finally clears, you'll get the whole story on A Current Affair.
KSTP, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
I'm Bob Goen. I came to California Gold Rush country to see if prospecting is a lost art. Oh, Eureka.
Hi, I'm Paula McClure. Are you planning on taking a trip? If you have pets, you can take them or leave them. I'll have some tips on the best way to do both.
I'm Jack Perkins in Maine, but today we're talking about New York, the place to go to if you want power, fame, money, a heart attack.
Hi, I'm Kerry Millerick. What's the best way to get around Manhattan? Well, I'll give you a hint. It ain't by taxi. Stick around as we sail around the Big Apple.
And I'm Dale Harimoto. We'll have those features, the latest overnight news, sports, and weather, plus everything you need to make this a great weekend.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Great Weekend once again. I'm Bob Goen.
And I'm Dale Harimoto, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of that gold Bob brought back.
I've never seen you actually rub your hands together like that before.
We've never talked about gold before.
Well, you must be truly excited. I did bring some gold. We'll see that a little bit later on, but there's more good news. On the medical front, we've got it coming from Dr. Michael Breen. It's a report about a drug that may prevent breast cancer.
And there's still more good news on the show. A few words from Liza Minnelli and Dudley Moore about their new movie.
And Sandy Newton is going to have that and all the latest movie and home video releases, too. But first, Stan Turner has returned from vacation. We're glad to have him back. He's at the news desk where we go by satellite now for the latest overnight developments. I guess the top story concerns the rescue efforts continuing in Texas. Right, Stan?
That's it, Bob. Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Up to 300 rescuers worked throughout the night under portable lights. They hope to find more survivors. The police tell us the chances, though, grow slimmer of finding anybody alive there, but that the search will not end until every stone has been turned. The search effort has been a delicate one, with rescuers at times passing stones out of the rubble hand to hand. A special mine rescue team joined the searchers. They are using sensitive microphones, hoping to hear signs of life. And at one point, searchers maneuvered a fiber optic camera through makeshift tunnels to look for possible survivors. No one has been heard or seen in hours, though. In all, 16 people have been found dead. The Dallas Morning News is reporting that clogged drainage holes on the roof had allowed rain to collect before the accident. The roof of the Crowder department store collapsed Thursday during heavy rains and a thunderstorm. There were some happy moments, though, yesterday when 6 survivors were pulled from the debris. One of them was a 2-year-old crying girl.
She would cry, and at times she would quit crying, and that's when we would worry, and we would get her to cry again. And as long as she was crying, we were happy.
3 of those rescued were children. 47 other people were injured in the collapse, and police tell us that the search will probably last through the weekend. The search for survivors of that oil platform explosion in the North Sea is virtually over this weekend. The British Coast Guard says only 1 patrol boat will stay near what's left of that platform. 17 people were killed and 149 people are still reported missing there. In India last night, a train derailed on a bridge and fell into a lake. One of those cars landed upside down and trapped the passengers. Divers have found almost 100 people dead and 50 are still missing. Almost 200 others are in hospitals right now, and the search for survivors was called off during the dark of the night. Rescuers tried again this morning to retrieve still more bodies. Well, the heat wave combined with pollution has created unhealthy air in Detroit, parts of Kentucky, and in Chicago. In Chicago, officials are warning those with respiratory ailments to stay indoors. Near New Orleans, the effort to keep salt water out of the drinking water has taken a new turn. Several companies have begun bringing in millions of gallons of water a day on barges. That water is then pumped into the system. They hope this will dilute the saltiness of the water. The salt water has been creeping up the river because of low levels from the drought. In the meantime, senators from states along the Mississippi have come up with an idea to raise the level of the river. The drought has driven the Mississippi down to record lows, and barges are getting stuck in places right now. The solution, divert water from the Great Lakes.
There's no doubt in my mind that if a major highway in this country, an east-west highway, was partially blocked, we would do everything possible to restore transportation on that highway and to do so as quickly as possible. The Mississippi River is, to the Midwest, what a major highway is to America. And I think we should do whatever is necessary to restore traffic on the Mississippi River.
Not surprisingly, lawmakers from the Great Lakes states are protesting that move. They say diverting waters is illegal. That's the news to this hour. Bob, back to you.
Okay, Stan, it's good to have you back. Thanks for joining us once again. We'll check in with Stan a little bit later on in the hour, but in the meantime, our entertainment editor, Sandy Newton, has One on the Rocks with our old buddy, Arthur, coming up.
It's exciting, enjoyable, and enticing, and it's waiting for you. If you have the desire, Murdoch Travel School will provide the rest. Begin your career in the fast-growing industry of world's travel. Enjoy the advantages of working for an airline or travel agency. Murdoch Travel School provides highly qualified teachers and hands-on experience, all on a warm, exotic paradise island. The cost is only $3,995 with financing available. You can attend any travel school, but Murdoch Travel School in Honolulu can open the door to the career you want that will make a difference in your life. Think about it. You can be one of up to 95% of Murdoch Travel School graduates receiving job offers. Invest in your future and a growing career with one of the leaders in travel education. It's your choice. The call is free.
Call 1-800-453-9500 to begin your travel career. $3,995 includes round-trip airfare from Los Angeles to Honolulu, Waikiki condo for 5 weeks, plus all training and materials and more. Call now, 1-800-453-9500.
Introducing Lee Press-On Nails, the French manicure. Beautiful, affordable, easy to apply as regular Lee Press-On Nails, and with 4 extra nails, 24 in all for a perfectly beautiful fit. Lee Press-On Nails, the French manicure.
Lee! Miss Lee! Press-on nails for teens!
Miss Lee Press-On Nails for smaller hands. Easy to put on as regular Lee Press-On Nails with 4 extra nails, 24 in all for a more perfectly beautiful fit.
Fun at your fingertips! Miss Lee Press-on Nails! Bikini Bear, go for it. Get smooth skin to show for it.
For lovely legs and underarms, Bikini Bear Lotion Depilatory, pleasantly scented in use. And with our unique applicator remover for quicker, more thorough hair removal.
Bikini Bear!
Introducing Lee Sculptured Nails. Long-lasting like salon nails, but affordable because you do them at home. Just glue, brush, shape. If you can polish your nails, you can enjoy Lee Sculptured Nails like nothing you've ever used before.
A look back in time. It's Milwaukee's annual Great Circus Parade, which takes place next Sunday. It features 75 antique circus wagons, marching bands, and 750 horses. If you can't make it to Milwaukee next weekend, it's going to be televised in much of the country, so check your listings next week. Well, it's too soon to tell if the sun will shine on that parade next week, but Dave Dahl is standing by with all of this weekend's weather. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dale. It does look like most of the country is going to sizzle again this weekend from coast to coast. However, some dying thunderstorms that produced a dozen tornadoes in northeastern Colorado late last evening produced as much as 1.5 inches of rain up over Norfolk, Nebraska, and that dying line of thunderstorms continues to blot out most of the sunshine across the northern plains. However, that'll leave the northern plains and give way to sunshine there, and also quite a bit of sunny skies out through the eastern third of the country. Temperatures are really going to heat up there. Out to the west, some monsoon-type thunderstorms again developing in the southwest, and out to the west, a sunny day, the way it appears, the western third of the country. High temperatures, because of the sunshine, are really going to heat up in the desert southwest into the 100s. Bullhead could get up to 115 late this afternoon. 80s across most of the midsection of the country, but boy, is it going to heat up. In the central part of the Mississippi Valley and the Ohio Valley will top that 100-degree mark again. 90s all the way out through the east coast. It is going to continue hot with plenty of sunshine. However, the outlook for today does have some scattered thunderstorm activity again through the central plain states, and they could be severe anywhere from the southern part of Minnesota right down through northern part of Missouri. That activity due to that dying cool front, but a new cool front will touch off some more thunderstorms up in northern Minnesota late this afternoon and out through the east. Hot, humid, very steamy air. Dew points up in the 70s. Across most of the east, it is going to be sticky. Maybe some thunder showers in the eastern part of New York State and Pennsylvania, but out to the west, just a hot, dry, dusty day. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures there, as we saw, in the hundreds up into the 90s, way up in the central part of the Rocky Mountain states. Well, that's a look at the national weather. Now, how about the weather in your area?
Good morning. This is meteorologist Bill Ranby. 74 degrees, partly sunny skies, and a sultry 71 dew point. Look for partly cloudy today and a slight chance of a thunderstorm later this afternoon.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes, Bob, we're going to take a look at the jet stream and some hope for the drought-stricken areas of the north.
Boy, we will keep our fingers crossed for them. Thanks a lot, Dave, and we'll talk to you a little bit later on in the show. You know, they say that you can tell a lot about a person by the kind of car they drive. Well, I think that's especially true for our entertainment editor, Sandy Newton.
You know, amusement parks are great for summer entertainment. I'm here at the Santa Monica Pier where you can ride the bumper cars and really take out all your commuter frustrations safely. It's great fun. But if your idea of summer entertainment is a good movie, well, take a look at this.
Give me the camera. No, give me it. No. Guys, give me it. No. Give me it. No. Oh, Grant, look what you did now.
License to Drive will probably drive you crazy unless you're a teenager in the mood for some madcap mishaps, all built around the theme of one 16-year-old boy trying to get his, you guessed it, license to drive. It's a silly summer movie, so if that's what you're looking for, well, stop here.
What is that?
What is what? That! There are 2,312 taxi cabs in this city, and there's one now. Hey, taxi cab!
Short Circuit 2 is another summer sequel carrying on the story of an $11 million fugitive military robot called Number 5, who this time takes on the big city. Now, believe it or not, this one really got to me. Lots of sweet, sentimental twists and turns. It's great for the whole family.
Thank you for stopping.
You taught me how to be rich, right? I'll teach you how to be poor. It's really easy. It's exactly the same thing. You just do it in fewer rooms.
Dudley Moore and Liza Minnelli are back for some more laughs with Arthur 2 on the Rocks. Directed by Bud Yorkin with a script by Andy Breckman, Arthur 2 came across as a little too saccharine to be nutritionally safe weekend viewing. But if you're hungering for a summer movie and you loved Arthur 1, well, Arthur 2 on the Rocks was made just for you.
I borrowed home from the diner. It's meatloaf, Dad.
Recently, I had an opportunity to talk to Dudley and Liza, and they told me it was great working together again.
She's terrific. She's very full of ideas and energy, and she's just wonderful to work with, very easy to work with, because she's very alive. She listens, you know.
Oh, I had such a good time. I just love that character, and I love the character that Dudley's created in Arthur. You know, he's a sweet, dear man himself, and I think he's brought a lot of his best qualities into the character of Arthur, and he's just so funny.
Well, that's a look at the new movies, but right now here on the pier, they're shooting a new video, Just Say No to Drugs, that will be out in the fall. But right now, let's take a look at what'll be at your video stores this week.
Wake up, will you, pal? If you're not inside, you are outside, okay? And I'm not talking about some $400,000 a year working Wall Street stiff flying first class and being comfortable. I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. $50, $100 million, buddy.
Oliver Stone's Wall Street came crashing into the video stores this week and is sure to be a major home entertainment hit. This year's Oscar winner Michael Douglas shines in this one, so don't miss it.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know, videos make it possible to see movies we may have missed or not heard of while playing in feature houses. So how about sampling some foreign releases like Tampopo this week, which recently became available on home video? It's a very fine and funny Japanese comedy all about noodles. And Repentance tells the surreal story of what life in Russia was like under Stalin's rule. Interesting and challenging home viewing, to say the least.
Well, now you know what's new in entertainment. Have a great weekend. As for me, I think I'll take another spin on the carousel. After all, you're never too old. Back to you in the studio.
Well, there's a job that has its ups and downs, huh?
Now, how did I know you were going to say that?
There's a writer's strike on. I think it's a dead giveaway. Anyway, there's still plenty to do in your neighborhood over the next couple of days, so quickly, let's take a look at some activities in your area.
Good morning, I'm Wendy Lubavitch with some entertainment going on in the Twin Cities this weekend. Well, the big event this weekend, of course, is Riverfest out on Harriet Island. It's a combination of music, food, and Ringling Brothers thrill shows. The Nerd is opening this weekend at the Chanhassen Fireside Dinner Theater, and Ballet of the Dolls is performing both Saturday and Sunday at the Southern Theater in Minneapolis. Those are some of the entertainment ideas going on in the Twin Cities this weekend. More great weekend right after this.
I always bring my little sister to our castle because she just loves the castle meal. It comes with a cute little hamburger, golden brown french fries, and her choice of drink. She'll have the orange. And she likes the box because she can carry her own food. Get real. We're here for the fun stuff. Fabulous, fabulous. Lovely shades. Fabulous, fabulous. Causing waves. Fabulous, fabulous. What's the rate? You can collect all 4 fabulous fun shades for 69 cents each with any food purchase. What Castle has the fun stuff?
Hi, Scott Hansen from Metro Mazda. Mark, what's this $1,000 guarantee thing?
Well, Scott, let me tell you about our $1,000 guarantee. Metro Mazda will beat your best Mazda deal by $200 or pay you $1,000, guaranteed. This is truly a legitimate offer.
Do you believe them? Metro Mazda, across from Wards on the Midway, 645-0441.
All Best Buy superstores are on red tag alert. Why? Because we're cutting prices throughout every store. Just look for the red tags. This is your chance to save big on hundreds of items, plus one-of-a-kinds, demos, clearance items, and closeouts, all marked down. This GE remote control VCR is red tagged at just $186.99, and this white Westinghouse refrigerator is red tagged at just $379.99. Shop Best Buy's red tag sale. You'll see red and save some green.
Through the years, we traveled the world together, sharing along the way, the laughter and the tears. Through the years, one of the family. Through the years, one of the family.
40 years of sharing the pride. KSTP Channel 5.
Despite low water levels on the Mississippi River, the Delta Queen and the Mississippi River Queen are still sailing, offering great weekend vacations. Their routes have been changed because of the drought, but the fun on board hasn't. Home port for these beauties is New Orleans, and you can get schedules and prices by calling area code 504-586-0631.
Well, those steamboats may be rolling, but if your car isn't, Dale has some useful information for you.
Just about everyone's been rescued by a pair of these at some time or the other, but despite that fact, not many people know how to use jumper cables safely and correctly. So we've got Norris Davis here with us today, who's going to show us the right way and the wrong way to jumpstart your car. Hi, Norris.
Hi, Dale.
You know, I've seen these used many times, but I have to tell you, I don't have a clue as to how they work.
Well, let's see if we can make it nice and easy for you.
Okay.
You have a dead battery.
Yes, I sure do.
And I have a good battery.
Okay, what do we do?
Okay, first of all, do me a big favor. Keep one clamp in each hand.
Why is that?
That's so that when I connect these ends to my battery, you do not get an electrical shock.
Okay.
If they touch, you'll get sparks. Okay, we come over to my battery, and we connect the red clamp to the positive post on the battery. Connect the black clamp to the negative post. But, as in some cases, the space is not enough to allow this clamp to go inside. So what we need to do is find something on the engine that will work as a ground.
So anything metal under the hood?
Just about anything metal will serve as a ground. And the way you can tell if you've got a good connection is, watch out.
Yeah, okay, all right, I believe you, all right.
Now that we have a good connection, we come over to your car. First, we locate the positive and the negative post. We connect the red clamp to the positive post and the black clamp to the negative. Now, when I start my car, the alternator will put out a current that will go into the battery, through the cables, and into your battery. I'm going to get into my car and start it up. You get in your car and wait for the signal, and we'll have your car started.
Okay, I can do that. Okay. Oh, hooray! It worked.
All right.
You know, it's amazing how many people will connect the positive terminal of the live battery to the negative terminal of the dead battery.
That's ultimately why I got out of the gas station business years ago.
Wait.
Yeah. What
about this gold you brought me?
Well, I did bring you some gold. I did, and finding it is a lot of work. I want you to appreciate that fact, and I want you to appreciate what I went through. The Great California Gold Rush near Coloma, California ended over 100 years ago, but gold, being the most addictive substance known to man, still draws hundreds yearly to Sutter's Mill, where James Marshall found that very first nugget. Now, quite honestly, I was pretty intrigued by all these stories about these weekend prospectors who were coming away with hundreds of dollars in gold. I like my job and all that, but let's face it, making a few dollars on the side and getting out of the great outdoors, nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to pan for gold, you need the advice of an expert. So I turned to Paul A. Bailey. He's been mining these rivers since he was just a kid.
First of all, we take the gold pan and we put some gravel material in it. And then we wash the material, getting some of the mud out. So we'll rotate the gold pan and we'll wash out the light material. And gold, being the heaviest thing in there, wants to go to the bottom. So, as I swirl and wash, it's like a wave coming in and washing out.
The key to early success is to learn the basics. Gold is only found in certain places, and you need to learn what those places look like. And you need to know all about gold's physical peculiarities.
The basic thing you want to look for as a weekender coming out here is where the river flows. You always want to work on the downstream side of rocks or logs or bushes that may be on the shore of the river itself.
Now, basically, you can pan anywhere on a river for gold, but a placid area like this is a lot better if you're bringing your family because it's safer. In a turbulent area up there, you'll get gold, but you'll have a lot more trouble doing it. You know, Paul, this pan seems a little archaic to me. Is there any other way that's newer, more advanced?
Yes, what I'm working with right here is a modern-day sluice box. And what happens is the water flows through the box, and as it does, I will dump some material here into the sluice box, and as I'm dumping it, it is washing the lighter material out, and if there's any gold in there, it will stay up in the upper end of the box.
For some weekend prospectors, the prime reason for recreational panning is the price of gold, over $400 a troy ounce. But most of them add that there are some additional reasons.
Because I love the outdoors and want to explore gold panning a little bit further.
Oh, it's really great for the kids and the wife. The kids get out there and they get out in the water and they go out with their pans and they think they get gold, and it's really fool's gold.
The symbol of gold for Americans is very strong. It speaks of free and independent lifestyles with no traffic jams or mortgage payments. More than likely, you're not going to find enough gold here to pay for your weekend vacation, let alone be able to quit your job. Most of the easy gold has been taken from these waters, but you'll be guaranteed of one thing. You'll be putting your pan into the same waters that made many a millionaire.
Wow, there was a lot of gold in Paul Bailey's pan, and you were working the same part of the river?
Yeah.
What did you bring me?
I got you here. Look at that. It's in there. Take a look.
How can you tell?
Well, look very carefully. It's in there. You see it?
Well,
you don't see it.
Sir, I'd like some more.
you potential suitors out there, take note. I did bring you a souvenir, though. Here. Here we go. You got it?
Oh, well, I guess it's sort of gold. And when we come back, Bob will give us all something a bit more valuable, a roundup of the weekend's televised sports.
Dan Aykroyd and John Candy are headed for the great outdoors.
We weren't invited. They'll be tickled to death to see us.
But this is no holiday. great outdoors. Outdoor fun for everyone. Rated PG. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Attention television viewers.
If you're not already getting TV Guide home delivered, you're missing out on a great deal.
Yes, you can get 30 weeks of TV Guide and pay in 3 easy monthly installments of just $7.17.
That means a few cents a day buys you America's most exciting, most colorful, most popular television magazine, wrapped around the most complete, most accurate program information you can find anywhere on network, local, cable, and pay TV.
Plus, you'll enjoy the convenience of home delivery, and you can't beat the price.
You can't beat the price, so don't miss out on this special TV Guide offer.
It's so easy. Just call 800-228-3737. Get 30 weeks of TV Guide and pay in 3 easy monthly installments of just $7.17. Call toll-free, 800-228-3737.
It's the lowest price going, so do it now.
800-228-3737. TV Guide pays for the call. 800-228-3737.
Captain Kirk.
Yellow alert.
Mr. Spock. Klingons. Fantastic space creatures. Alien super beings. And you. It's not a TV show. It isn't a movie. It's the Star Trek adventure you've always dreamed of. Hang on! But now you won't just dream it. You'll be part of it. Star Trek live on the Universal Studios Tour.
Sporting Life Goin' has geared up for the weekend with several bushels of popcorn and the TV listings. So what sports are we going to be watching this weekend, Bob?
Baseball, 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 and more baseball. It's our sport du jour. We got a full slate of games played last night on the West Coast, so let's give the scores of those contests for you folks who went to bed at a decent hour and don't know how they turned out. San Diego Padres came up winners against the Chicago Cubs 4-2, while further north in Los Angeles, the Pirates edged the front-running Dodgers 4-3. And let's continue up the California coast to San Francisco. The home team Giants edged the Cardinals 1-0. Mike Lacoste with a 4-hitter there. As for the weekend baseball lineup, well, the series of the day, and really the series for the entire weekend for that matter, features the leaders in the American League squaring off in Motown. The Oakland A's, who are leading the West by 4.5 games, both the modern-day murderer's row that features all-stars Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire, along with veterans like Carney Lansford and Dave Parker. Their rivals will be the East-leading Detroit Tigers, and they just may be the antithesis of the powerful A's. Sparky Anderson, once again, doing it with mirrors. He's leading his team of names like Sheridan, Noakes, Salazar, and Whale Wander to 51 wins already and a 3-game lead over the Yankees. And you'll be able to watch their matchup, or the Mets and the Astros, on the game of the week, with start time for both sides set for 1:50. That would be Eastern time.
Bob, the Summer Olympics begin on September 17th, right?
Yeah.
Well, summer ends on the 21st. Isn't that awfully late for the summer games?
It seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah, but it'll just give the athletes a little more time to get warmed up, I guess, and more prepared for their sports. But you know something? While everyone is busy watching out for glamour events like track and field or boxing and basketball, there's one event that often gets overlooked, and it's difficult and the treacherous sport of kayaking. Now, American kayakers like Bruce Lessels here, they will travel through rock-infested whitewater courses that would terrify mere mortals.
The first time your stomach sort of comes up to your throat. One style of racing is called slalom, which is very similar to ski slalom competition. There are upstream and downstream gates. There are 25 total in a course. The wildwater competition is more like a downhill ski race. There are no gates involved at all, and the river sort of is its own slalom course. The key in wildwater competition is sort of all-out speed and reading the river well.
Now, Bruce and the U.S. contingent are very good. As a matter of fact, they're considered among one of the top teams that will be going for the gold in Seoul. So we're rooting you on, Bruce. That's it for sports.
And coming up when we return, Dr. Michael Breen with an encouraging report about preventing breast cancer.
I always bring my little sister to our castle because she just loves their castle meal. It comes with a cute little hamburger, golden brown french fries, and her choice of drink. She'll have the orange. And she likes the box because she can carry her own food. Get real. We're here for the fun stuff. Fabulous, fabulous. Lovely shades. Fabulous, fabulous. Causing waves. Fabulous, fabulous. What's the rave? You
time you're in downtown Minneapolis, try stopping off at this warehouse. It's the Litton Paper Company, and you've never seen anything like it. You see, Litton Paper is the largest party store in the world. Come discover aisles and aisles of paper and party supplies to choose from, with everything at discount prices.
It's Litton Paper's annual garage sale. You'll find incredible bargains on everything. It's the sale of the summer.
So for all your party supplies, remember the name, Litton Paper.
KSTP, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
Great weekend. Hope you do too. Some of the kids who sailed on a schooner around Manhattan Island with Kerry Millerick doing the shouting there, and we're going to hear Kerry's saga of his long voyage before the mast in just a little bit.
But before we take that trip, let's travel to the beautiful coast of Maine, where our Jack Perkins has some thoughts about our biggest city. Fasten your seatbelts for this one.
Good morning from the coast of Maine. You know, I am told that there are some people who actually like New York. I've never met any personally, but I'm told that there are such people who delude themselves by preciously calling it the Big Apple and imagining that it really is a fit place for human habitation. All a visitor has to do is go there once and he knows differently. A visitor is assaulted by a cacophony of noise, a barrage of bad manners among dyspeptic citizens, and the stenches of a rotting city. Have you ever noticed that in New York, you can't inhale more than half a breath at a time before coming upon something so foul that the system convulses, as though trying to reject the very air of the place? And the crowds. I was in a crowded intersection in Manhattan. Is there any other kind? And I stepped back to let a woman pass, and as she passed, she gave me the strangest look and said, "You're not from around here, are you?" No, at the time I was from California, that land which New Yorkers like to put down derisively, enviously, I think, as laid back, yogurt and joggers, la-la land. Well, I was sitting here on the coast of Maine this week thinking about all this because I've been reading a report from the Federal Centers for Disease Control on the incidence of heart attacks in this nation. And where is the lowest incidence of heart attacks? West Coast. California, Washington, Montana, Utah, Hawaii, New Mexico. Does this speak well, then, for yogurt and jogging, for the California lifestyle? The epidemiologist from the CDC was asked, and he said, I guess you could say that. Because, on the other hand, where was the highest incidence of heart attacks in this country? No surprise. New York. 2.5 times the incidence of heart attacks among middle-aged men, as in, say, New Mexico. Ah, New York, New York. If you can make it there without keeling over from a coronary, you can make it anywhere. Thanks, but I'd just as soon not.
Well, Jack, I lived in New York for a dozen years and I loved it. I think it's a great place to visit, a great place to live, but I just wouldn't want to have to find a parking space there.
I know what you're talking about. You know, Kerry Millerick visited the Big Apple recently. He had no trouble finding a parking spot, but that was because he was in a boat.
Oh,
you know, we'll hear from him a little bit later on.
But first, let's check in with Dr. Michael Breen, who has news on a new use for an old drug. Good morning, Mike.
Dale, there's a drug on the market that can help relieve chronic anxiety. In one study, though, researchers are finding that that drug can help some recovering alcoholics kick the habit once and for all. Now, while many drugs have been used to treat chronic drinkers, researchers say a drug called Boost Bar can help ease the anxiety that causes up to 40% of alcoholics to keep drinking. Now, what makes this drug better than any other anxiety-relieving drug? Well, it's non-addicting, it doesn't cause drowsiness, and it's not mood-altering. There's a new device that can save the lives of thousands of women who now die from cancer of the ovaries. That device can detect that cancer earlier than ever before. Now, the concept isn't new, but this particular device is. It's a vaginal ultrasound probe.
It works non-surgically by bouncing sound waves through the wall of the vagina. That allows experts to check the ovaries for abnormal growths or other possible signs of cancer. It's now estimated that 1 out of every 70 women will develop ovarian cancer at some point in their lives. A pill that can prevent breast cancer is one step closer to being used by millions of women. A new study shows so far the pill called tamoxifen appears to have no major side effects. Tamoxifen is now being studied nationwide, but the largest study is going on at the University of Wisconsin. One of the patients in that study is Karen Reisenauer. Like everyone in this study taking tamoxifen, Karen has already had breast cancer. She's hoping the drug will prevent a recurrence.
It's always a concern. You have to think about it, and that's why you have to take good care of yourself.
For several years, tamoxifen pills have been used in the treatment of women who've already had breast cancer. But researchers here discovered the drug could also prevent those cancers. In fact, when it's given to laboratory mice, tamoxifen is 100% effective at preventing those cancers.
Tamoxifen is exciting because it's applied in the clinic, and it's basically a compound with virtually no side effects.
The key word, though, is the word virtually. Before millions of otherwise healthy women take one of these pills twice a day, researchers want to be absolutely sure the medication has no side effects. Now, the two side effects they're most concerned about, brittle bones and heart disease. Brittle bones because tamoxifen works by blocking estrogen, and estrogen helps strengthen a woman's bones. Heart disease because blocking estrogen would also raise a woman's cholesterol. Early results suggest tamoxifen is safe, but researchers won't know for sure until mid-1990.
At that time, based on the answers, one could propose actually studying giving tamoxifen to healthy women to see if it could prevent breast cancer.
I certainly hope it's going to have a big effect. If this is something that people can take routinely every day and prevent them from having a breast cancer, I think it'd be marvelous. It'd be just a great step in the right direction.
The widespread use of tamoxifen is still years away. But there are some things a woman can do right now to reduce her risk of breast cancer. She can exercise, cut down on fatty foods, and keep her weight down. All those steps have been shown to help prevent breast cancer. Bob?
Okay, Mike, encouraging news indeed, and we will see you again next weekend. And when we come back, Paula McClure tells us how to travel with our pets. And Kerry Millerick does some traveling on his own. He is going to sail a schooner around Manhattan Island.
If you're a businessman or woman with the brains, drive, and desire to run a growing company, Inc., the magazine for growing companies, invites you to call now for a free copy of its Guide to Small Business Success. Here's a special report packed with the kind of hard-nosed, how-to business savvy you find in every issue of Inc. That's INC, period. And the Guide to Small Business Success is yours free just for subscribing to Inc. at the money-saving trial rate of $18 for 1 full year. Then each month, you'll profit from Inc.'s special brand of hands-on management advice, facts, news, and ideas that quickly get down to business, plus insights into the business news straight from the men and women who make it news. So call today for 12 monthly issues of Inc. and Inc.'s Guide to Small Business Success free. That's 800-228-3800. What's more, as a special bonus, you'll get this handsome Inc. soft briefcase free with your paid order. Inc. magazine pays for the call. Toll free 800-228-3800.
Introducing Lee Press-On Nails, the French manicure. Beautiful, affordable, easy to apply as regular Lee Press-On Nails, and with 4 extra nails, 24 in all for a perfectly beautiful fit. Lee Press-On Nails, the French manicure.
Lee! Miss Lee! Press-on nails for teens!
Miss Lee Press-On Nails for smaller hands. Easy to put on as regular Lee Press-On Nails with 4 extra nails, 24 in all for a more perfectly beautiful fit.
Fun at your fingertips! Miss Lee Press-on nails!
Bikini Bear, go for it. Get smooth skin to show for it.
For lovely legs and underarms, Bikini Bear Lotion Depilatory, pleasantly scented in use, and with our unique applicator remover for quicker, more thorough hair removal.
Bikini Bear!
Introducing Lee Sculptured Nails, long-lasting like salon nails, but affordable because you do them at home. Just glue, brush, shape. If you can polish your nails, you can enjoy Lee Sculptured Nails like nothing you've ever used before.
the Riverfest in Harriet Island Park in St. Paul. It's running right now through next weekend. Tickets are $10 at the gate, and the price of admission includes a day of concerts and other entertainment. The festivities go on even though the river is a little lower than normal this year, and Bob found another activity, gardening, you can also do despite the dry conditions.
With the current drought situation and the rising cost of water, many people are concerned about the future of their garden this summer. Well, maybe the answer for you is a home irrigation system. They're inexpensive, they're easy to install, and our garden expert, Cheryl Hopkins, is here to show us the many kinds that there are and how you best can benefit from them. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Bob. The drip irrigation system works very well for the vegetable gardener, and for the ornamental gardener, does a wonderful job for him. And if you only have a lawn, there's a drip irrigation system that works well for that, too.
Same thing, okay.
Let's go look at some pieces I've got laid out for
Great.
you. Here we have a variety of kits designed for the vegetable garden, the rest of the landscaping in the yard, the patio and container gardening, for the lawns, and they're all put together, everything you need in there.
It's really simple to install?
Very simple. Starting with the main hoses, cut that to the length that's required for your particular job. Put a hole in it, any place you need them to get the water to go where you want it. Add a connector, put on the spaghetti tubing. This carries the water out to wherever we want it in the yard, to the proper place in the yard or the garden. Into that goes emitters. Put the spaghetti tubing back on. Go on down the line, put in another one, wherever we want to go.
I got you. That is simple. Now what do we do with it?
Put it in a vegetable garden.
Okay, let's try it. Now, is there a trick to the way you lay it out?
Just laying it out so that it gets a nice even coverage over the plot. We've already spaced these right, so now we should be able to just lay it out here.
Now, this is just drip irrigation, so what, do you leave it on all day or what?
About 20 minutes a day.
20 minutes? That's all?
That's all. This puts the water right at the roots of the plant where it's needed. That's what makes it so efficient and inexpensive to operate. Let's look at one we've got in a garden already installed and growing. This is one type of emitter here. We have a whole variety of these to answer almost any problem that comes up in the garden.
You know, that last picture looks more like spraying than drip watering.
Well, yeah, it's a very low volume spray, but it's considered part of drip watering irrigation because it's very economical. Now, if you'd like a booklet on drip irrigation for your garden, just write to Rain Drip. Yes, Box GW 21305, Itasca Street, Chatsworth, California, 91311.
Okay, Bob, you solved one summertime problem. Now it's time to tackle another one. You know, anytime a pet owner travels, he has to decide whether to take the pet along or to board it. And our consumer reporter, Paula McClure, has the scoop on your options.
The key to finding a good place to board your pet is to go first and take a tour. You should be able to tell fairly quickly whether Fido will be happy there. Dogs should have their own individual run areas with ample width for them to turn around and with concrete floors for the best sanitation. Remember, dogs who don't know each other don't always become friends, so no two dogs should be in the same cage except if they're from the same family. In hot weather areas, you should make sure that air conditioning is available, and you may want to check whether certain services are offered, like grooming or individual walks. Finally, check out who is going to have access to the owner tag. They not only tell people you're away, but often your address as well. As with dogs, only cats from the same family should be in the same cage, with as much room as possible for them to move around or find a perch. Kitty hammocks make life a little more comfortable, too. If you have other animals besides cats and dogs, you should check to make sure the kennel is used to caring for them before handing them over. Lastly, you should make sure the kennel has humans assigned to be there after hours, as well as a good vet on call. You can plan on spending anywhere from $4 to $18 per day to board your animal. Now let's talk about taking your pet with you, something I know a lot about traveling with my dog Gucci here. If you're going to be flying, call at least a month in advance. Because of the summer heat, many airlines and some airports are simply saying no to animals. As many as 2 small pets can travel with you in the passenger compartment, as long as they're related and fit comfortably in this little box. Otherwise, pets have to go in approved cages like this, which should be big enough to leave a couple of inches above the standing animal. No food or water in the cage, and don't tranquilize the pet unless you think it may harm itself in the cage, which, by the way, is a good case for leaving it behind. If you're traveling with your pet in baggage, you shouldn't be charged extra unless the pet is very large. Shipping your animal will usually require a health certificate and cost between $50 and $500. Go on a driving vacation with your pets only if you have air conditioning, and be sure to stop frequently so they can get a drink and stretch their legs. Whether you travel with or without your pets, remember that their comfort and safety depend on your forethought.
Thanks, Paula. We'll see you in the studio here next Saturday. Why don't you bring your dog? And in the meantime, let's take a look at some activities in your area.
Good morning, I'm Wendy Lubavitch with some activities going on in the Twin Cities this weekend. Well, Sunday at 2 p.m., it's a great place to take the kids, a puppet show at Normandale Lake in Bloomington. Oklahoma is playing both Saturday and Sunday at the Ordway in St. Paul. And you don't want to miss Dick Clark's 60s show at Riverfest on Harriet Island, showtimes 3 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Sunday. Those are some of the activities going on. More great weekend right after this.
Cheetah's Brad Cheese Flavored Snacks presents
Chester Cheetah. I'm the big cheese of the 7 seas. Do I detect a yellow breeze of mellow cheese? My calm and serene just up and split the scene for the cheese that goes.
Crunch.
It's not easy being cheesy.
Cheetos, the cheese that goes. Crunch.
I always bring my little sister to our castle because she just loves the castle meal. It comes with a cute little hamburger, golden brown french fries, and her choice of drink. She'll have the orange. And she likes the box because she can carry her own food. Get real. We're here for the fun stuff. Fabulous, fabulous. Lovely shades. Fabulous, fabulous. Causing waves. Fabulous, fabulous. What's the rate? You can collect our 4 fabulous fun shades for 69 cents each with any food purchase. White Castle has the fun stuff.
Master the art of gift-giving. Let the experts at Pedro Luggage of St. Paul show you how easy it is to give memorable graduation gifts. Extend your congratulations with luggage, totes, business cases, and accessories from Pedro's. Your graduate will often thank you for the durability and quality craftsmanship of your special gift. Or how about a gift certificate from Pedro of St. Paul, your factory outlet store, at 10th and Robert off the 10th Street exit on I-94 or 35E.
When the drought situation became critical, we came right here to Minnesota to tell your story to the rest of the nation.
Thank you. Okay, we're here.
And when the stories of other Americans become vitally important, we'll tell those stories too. Join us here on KSTP Channel 5 weekday mornings for the people and the topics that shape our lives, the stories about you, and the stories you want to hear. All this and more every weekday morning on Geraldo, right here on KSTP Channel 5.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, our resident swabby, Gary Millerick, has just returned from a weekend before the mast, I guess they'd call it. Well, where's your spinach there, sailor?
I am what I am, Bob. and I'm not Popeye. But
Tell me about it.
I am here on shore leave, though. Actually, if you want to take a trip around New York, you can do it on one of those big glass tour boats.
Right.
Or you can set to sail on one of them pioneering schooners. 103 years old it was. Guess which trip I took?
There was a time when you could walk the South Street piers and sample the varied sights and smells of one of the world's busiest seaports. Everything was in black and white then, but life was good. Today, the recently renovated South Street Seaport still plays host to a couple square riggers and a 100-year-old schooner, the Pioneer. No longer needed to sail cargo up and down the East Coast, the Pioneer regularly schedules human cargo for a hands-on trip back to America's maritime past.
We have 5 sails to put up. We're going to be putting them all up. And if you want to give us a hand doing that, you can.
In the role of the salty old skipper, a salty young skipper, Kevin Jones.
Now, I heard some boats have these things called Winches? Winches, right. I've heard about these things. We ain't got none, all right? We just pull the sails up, so if you want to get a feel for where it used to be, you can get in on that, okay?
As a matter of fact, you can get in on about every aspect of rigging and sailing this solid old ship, like coiling up the ropes. I mean lines.
So what do? I just coil it up in a circle?
Yeah, but okay, it has to be clockwise though.
Oh, clockwise?
Yeah.
Of course.
How is it that sailing can be so incredibly complex and simple at the same time? By the way, don't worry if you find yourself heaving.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Heave!
Once the sails are up, the Pioneer takes off, minus the pounding engine rumble of other ships her size. Before you know it, our guide has the deck, imparting choice historical tidbits.
The British gave it the name Governor's Island because that is where their British colonial governors were supposed to live, and they did indeed. We know that the first British colonial governor that lived out there was Lord Cornbury, who was a rather eccentric fellow who every now and then wore women's clothing.
Steering this vessel, they told me, is just like steering a car. A 65-foot, 40-ton floating car.
Just so we don't hit that up there, because somebody take the wheel. Don't feel fully great. Don't want to hit anything.
Strike the day shape, please. Bring the centerboard up to half and trim the fore.
What does all that mean?
I don't know. Sounds good.
Of course, you don't have to work. You can just hang out, soaking up those famous New York rays. The passengers, as well as the volunteer crew, come from all walks of life, sharing a desire to trade city traffic for boat traffic.
Just imagine what it was like before steamships. Just imagine all those buildings are gone. Imagine this water is crystal clear. Hey, I didn't say it would be easy.
So, if the idea of braving the elements, getting screamed at, and working your fingers to the bone appeals to you, then stay in the city. But if you're out for an afternoon of fun, take to the sea.
Now that looks like fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And educational, too. I learned all kinds of stuff, little historical tidbits. Well, for one thing, I learned there was a little hook of land down near where the ships used to come in back in the old days, called Corlear's Hook.
Yeah.
On Corlear's Hook, the women would wait for these ships to come in. Certain women of, shall we say, alternate lifestyles. and because of this neighborhood at Corlear's Hook, do you know what these women later came to be known as?
Corlears, probably.
Sorry, we'll have to send you a home version of our name. No, hookers.
Of course.
Amazing historical facts you find out.
Well, I never would have said that on the air. Yeah, but you would. Well, what are you going to do next week? Where are you taking us?
Well, if this wasn't enough to make me potentially lose my lunch, we decided to really go all the way. Next week, roller coasters.
Really? Oh, I'll go with you.
If you didn't get seasick on the schooner, I'm sure you can handle a roller coaster.
Sure.
It'll be a piece of cake.
Easy for you to say.
And when we come back, a final check from the news desk and an update on the weekend weather.
My husband was killed in a car accident a little over 2 years ago. It was really hard to accept, and if losing him wasn't bad enough, things got even worse, and the bills started to pile up, and I had no idea how we were going to make it. A neighbor said to call a lawyer. That was hard to think about, but I knew I had to for the sake of the kids, so I called the people at Milivest and Associates, and it's a good thing I did. We would have been lost without them.
Karen was devastated when she called us. There was no auto insurance on the drunk driver who killed Tom, and to make matters worse, his life insurance was denied on a technicality. We needed to protect the future of Tom's widow and children. First, with a call to the insurance commissioner and several intense conversations with the company, we recovered the life insurance benefits. Then an immediate investigation was crucial. We spoke to the drunk driver when he was in the hospital and to witnesses at the bar which served him while he was drunk. We then brought an action against the bar. We explored Tom's own auto policy and maximized the benefits, even a special notation leaving the family an additional lump sum for his death. We reached settlements giving the children significant financial support until they are 35 years old, and Karen received 2 large payments.
If you or a family member have been injured in an accident, a good lawyer will make the difference. Call the law firm of Milivets & Associates at 533-1111.
All along, Milovitz and Associates treated me with dignity and respect. Nothing will ever stop the pain of losing my husband, but thanks to Milovitz and Associates, I'll never have to worry about Charlie and Michael's futures.
Milovitz and Associates, an experienced law firm helping families with legal problems for 24 years. If you've been injured in an accident, call the law firm of Milovitz and Associates at 533-1111.
We'd love to hear from you, so write to us at Great Weekend, P.O. Box 36679, Los Angeles, California, 90036, 0679. It's time for a final look at the weather forecast with Dave Dahl. Hello again, Dave.
Hi there, Dale. It looks like it's going to be a gorgeous weekend up and down the west coast, but in the middle of the country, very hot weather continues, warm to hot, but that is south of the jet stream. The jet stream is taking a dip across the northern plains, and what that means is we're going to have a little bit of a chance for some of those drought-breaking rainfalls across the northern plains into the Great Lakes, and it will be dropping in some cooler air. Last week, as we saw, those jet streams were pushing way up into Canada. That was keeping the storms up there. Finally, some of those making their way across the northern plains. But the outlook for Sunday, this is what it looks like. We'll have some scattered showers and thunderstorms that could be severe on the southern edge of that jet stream as that dips down through the northern plains. Sunny weather across Minnesota and the Dakotas all the way out through the western parts of the Rocky Mountain states. Suntan alert out there. It looks like there'll be plenty of sunshine. Temperatures in the 90s and 100s in the southwest. In the east, a very steamy, sultry kind of day. It's going to be sticky with high temperatures in the 90s on Sunday, but maybe some heavier thunderstorms up in the northern part of New York State. Well, that's a look at the national weather. How about the weather in your area?
Good morning. This is meteorologist Bill Ranby. 74 degrees, partly sunny skies, and a sultry 71 dew point. Look for partly cloudy today and a slight chance of a thunderstorm later this afternoon.
Looks like steamy weather from coast to coast, Dale. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Dave. Now let's go back one last time to the news desk with Stan Turner. Stan?
All right, thank you, Dale. And taking a look at the week ahead, on Monday, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev begins a 6-day visit to Poland. Come Tuesday, the UN Security Council begins an investigation into the downing of the Iranian passenger jet. Also that day, the Soviets launch an unmanned spacecraft to Mars. Soviet scientists say they are planning to send men to Mars in the year 2010. And Thursday, President Reagan will go to Illinois to see for himself the damage from the drought. And this has been a look at the week ahead for you. Dale, back to you.
Stan, it's good to have you back with us. We'll see you next weekend. And you come back next weekend, too, and I'll take all of us fly fishing.
Looking forward to that. Also next week, Paula McClure tells us about some new varieties of fruits and vegetables appearing this summer for the first time in our market.
Well, that's it for this weekend. See you next Saturday. Our final pictures are from Carrie Miller's schooner ride around Manhattan.
Have a great weekend, everybody.